Christos Tzolis. Yes, that is his name. Yeah, and David Onstein was the one that broke the news yesterday that we are interested in signing Christos Tzolis from Club Group. Now, when I saw the news yesterday, I was surprised. You know, he was not the star player that I was expecting us to announce. It was not the caliber of player that I want my club to sign. But then I went online yesterday, after, because I won't lie to you, that was the first time I was going to hear about him. That was the first time I'll be hearing about Christos Tzolis. When I saw the news on David Onstein's page yesterday, so that was the first time I was going to hear about him. So I had to go online to check on the guy. And yes, he's pretty decent. He's decent. I would like to use decent. He has an eye for goals, and he scores some wordies. He scores some wordies. He's a dribbler. He's technically gifted. He's technically gifted, but he lacks pace. Yes, he lacks pace, but he's technically gifted. He's more like a Trossard prototype. He plays just like a Trossard. Also with an eye for goal. But he lacks pace, just like Leandro Trossard. And the thing is, one beautiful thing about this deal, if it happens, is that according to David Onstein, it's not going to derail us from a big name signing that we are expecting, that we want to sign. It's not going to stop us from maybe going for Brendan Rodgers or a Bradley Bacola, thereabout. Any star name that we are expecting the club to sign this season. For that left wing, it feels like this guy is gonna be leaving. Leandro Trossard is gonna be leaving, and getting a Christos Tzolis for 30-40 million pounds thereabouts, for a backup. I think it is a good deal. Hopefully it works out for him in England. If we sign him, hopefully it works out for him in England. Because one thing I've noticed is it is not all it is not all players that comes from outside English league that succeed there in English league. But then I'm hoping it's gonna work out for him. It's gonna work out for the club. He's probably gonna be a squad player. He's gonna be playing all those maybe Carling Cup or FA Cup. All those cup games. Maybe that is what we will be using him for mostly. And during the league and the Champions League, he might just come in to just help the team out. And like I said, it is going to be a good. It's gonna be a good piece of business from the team if we are able to pull this off. Yes, not the marquee signing that we are expecting, not the star signing that we are calling for, but then as far as I'm concerned, we need players like this in the team. We need players like this in the team, and he will come and then he's gonna improve the club. He's gonna improve the team. So hopefully we get to sign Christos Tzolis, and it feels like Liam Trossard might be moving to Besiktas. So eventually we need to replace him, and it is looking like this is gonna be Christos Tzolis. So guys, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think is the right person for the club? Do you think this is the signing that we want to see? Or do you feel we need to go for more? Let me hear let us let me see your opinion. Yes, at the comment section below.